So normally I review a trailer right after it's come out, and I include the trailer followed by my review. But I got to see the Insidious Chapter 2 trailer late last night at a special screening for press. They invited us out to not only see the trailer, but then there was a live stream discussion, which some of you might have seen on Facebook if you're Insidious 2 fans. And it was streamed live from this old abandoned hospital where they actually shot a lot of Insidious 2. But the evening got out to a really great start when they gave me this lantern, which says Insidious 2 on it. You can't really see it here, but it's awesome. And so I was like, great, setting of the mood. And so you can see that this film is being taken very seriously already by the studio, that they are giving out major swag and setting up events like this. And they must know that that's because they have James Wan, who is really becoming a horror guru. As you know, he's signed on to do Fast 7. Warner Brothers is super excited about The Conjuring, so much so that they've stuck it in the middle of July because it's testing so well. But I have to say that when this trailer started, I was like, you know what? This reminds me an awful lot of The Conjuring, because it also stars Patrick Wilson, and he's also there's also a family vibe. It's also an old house. This is current modern day, but everything kind of still looks 70s for some reason. So I was like, uh-oh, is James Wan already cannibalizing his own stuff? But then as the trailer progressed, it got weirder and scarier. And got pretty cool. I think this is going to be a very scary movie. This is my favorite type of scary movie, where they rely on makeup and camera tricks and stuff like that to scare you. I'm not a big fan of blood and gore, as I've often said on this show. But I liked what they have going on here. I'm also a sucker for hospital stories. I mean, I was writing a script, a while ago, and it was about an insane asylum. So I read the whole manual on mental illness. I read a history of mental institutions. So I just really fascinated by them. So James Wan knows how to get me into a theater. So also the other thing that was interesting was that he talked about this also in the talk afterwards, is that usually for a horror sequel, just the same crazy stuff happens to a new family and they get a whole new cast. But he said he was able to get his whole cast back, and instead you're following this family who is continuing to have problems. And I think that's really true. I mean, usually you do get, I don't know if it's usually I think because of budget reasons that they have to get all new cheap actors. But I think the only exception to that rule so far is Scream. But Scream was like a horror comedy, so that's also very different. So I think it's going to be interesting to see if that makes a difference to audiences. If audiences are like, yes, I wanted to follow this family and see what happens. Or if they're like, man, it could have been anybody, I just want to see some scary stuff. But the other thing is that for those of you who've seen Insidious, you know there's this big reveal at the end about Patrick Wilson's character. So I guess that's another reason to stick with this family, because, is the rest of the family going to find out what's going on with him? So I had a lot of fun last night, as I think you can tell. I have a lot of respect for James Wan as a filmmaker. I do like what he does with the genre, which is ironic considering he started out with Saw, which kicked off this whole gore trend, but he's just so moved away from it personally to, I think, a more sophisticated horror film. I don't know if he's quite at Kubrick levels yet. The Shining is tops in my book still. But I think this is really, really well done. And if they ever make that Shining prequel, maybe they should consider James Wan, if he doesn't just completely go over to action with Fast 7. But so that's my thoughts on the Insidious Chapter 2 trailer. When it's up today, I will put a link to it in the video description down below. So write your thoughts, what you think of it. Do you think this is too much like The Conjuring? Are you excited to see the continuation of what happens to this family? And what do you think of James Wan? Do you think the horror genre is going to be really at a loss for losing him to action? And, what do you think he's contributed so far? So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this special trailer review, and check out these other videos. Bye.